Today, we are going to go over the Dragon Genetics portfolio. I'm going to show you, thank you. I'm going to show you how to access it in Academy of Heroes. I'm also going to show you how to access it if you don't have an Academy of Heroes account. Now, if you do not have an Academy of Heroes account and you want one, you can still make one. I'm putting the link to the instructional document on how to do it here in the chat. But real quick, here's what we're going to do first. Those are the sign-up links if you don't have an account and you want to make an account. It's a fun thing that we do. You've probably been seeing the chapter explanations on your lesson introduction pages. That is Academy of Heroes. If you scroll to the bottom, you see all of the instructional stuff. But anyways, let me share my screen here. I'm going to show you how to access it if you have an account, and I'm also going to show you if you don't have an account. First, go ahead and get logged into your account if you do have one. And I'm going to show you. Hang on. Okay. Can you all see my screen? That's my teacher dashboard. First, I'm going to show you how to do it on the old Ethereal Mages account. So this is your student dashboard on Academy of Heroes. All you're going to do is you may notice a new special button called Special Missions here at the bottom. That's new. It was just added over last weekend. This is where I'm going to start putting your portfolios and your sample work. Don't worry, it's going to be the exact same thing in Pearson. So if you don't have an account on Academy of Heroes, no different. This is just if you do it. But anyways, you click Special Missions and it will open this. So this is our portfolio and you're going to click View Mission. Now, depending on your browser settings, it might automatically open the proper, a second tab up here. But if it doesn't, you can just click right here and it'll open a second tab. And it has the video and it has the worksheet. But what we're going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and show you the lore video for this worksheet. And it's going to go over the two dragons, Silvaria and Aurelio. And we are going to be helping them today use Punnett squares to figure out the traits of their potential offspring. So before we go into that, let's go ahead and watch the video of Silvaria and Aurelio.
As you heave in ragged breaths, succumbing to your proximity to the siphon of decay, two shapes streak across the clouds, sleek and gliding with impossible grace. You rise shakily as they descend. Two dragons. You brace yourself. But these are not like the one you encountered before. They land lightly, one with shining silver scales, the other glowing gold. Their forms are smaller, younger, still powerful, but without the crushing gravity of age. They do not roar. They bow their heads to you. The gold dragon speaks first, voice low and calm.
Stay your hands, friends. We mean you no ill will.
Please, forgive us if our arrival startled you. We've never met groundwalkers before. I am Silvaria, and this is my beloved, Aurelio.
We followed in secret when we heard the Elder Council would send Auralots to intercept you. His disdain does not reflect the hearts of all dragonkind. In truth, he and the Council no longer reflects the will of our people at all.
Our species is fading. Each century our numbers dwindle, and still, the elders cling to ancient traditions, refusing to adapt, even as our world changes around us.
You frown at the pair of young dragons. Fading? Silvaria hesitates, then continues.
There are only 347 dragons left alive, to the number. 197 female, 150 male. That number is barely sustainable. Many of the hatchlings are born with deformities, or are infertile, unable to have hatchlings of their own upon reaching maturity.
Our population has become too small, too closed. Many of us are related. As with your kind, our traditions and morality frown heavily upon pairings between kin. But in a world where there are no other options for us, and where the ignorance of our High Council exacerbates the problem,
You feel a chill. You've studied genetics. You understand what they're saying. In a healthy, diverse population, each parent brings different genetic material to their offspring. But as population size shrinks, the risk of inbreeding rises. When individuals are too closely related reproduce, their children may inherit damaged genes from both sides. You've seen it in animals: reduced fertility, birth defects, weakened immune systems. And now, you're hearing it from dragons.
The Elder Council determines our life partners by scale color. Gold with gold, silver with silver. In their backward wisdom, they are convinced this upholds genetic purity or some other such nonsense. But the results of the last few centuries is exposing the lie, and they refuse to see it.
beneath our scales we are all dragon. Gold, silver, it matters not. We are all biologically compatible. In times past, the diversity of our population made such pairings irrelevant. We were free to mate where our hearts led us. But now with our population diversity so unbearably low, there is no one else to mate with but cousins. We could possibly use the knowledge of our genetic lineages to lessen this problem. For some of us, dragons are more distantly related than others, possibly resulting in viable offspring. But in their foolish pride and arrogance, the Elder Council has quite literally chosen the worst path to increase our population's genetic diversity.
Aurelio and I, we are in love, and by some miracle we've traced our lineages. Fourth cousins, possibly the two most distantly related dragons left alive. We pleaded with the Elder Council, asked to be allowed to bond, but they called it heresy. They see our scales, not our genes, and their blindness is dooming our kind.
When we heard that scholars from the world below were traveling Alveolus, we had to meet you. We had to ask, is there anything you know that could help us convince them? We know this entire subject is awkward and distasteful, but our entire species is in crisis. Unless drastic changes are made to the way we expand our population, we are doomed.
You pause. Think. A genetic tool. Something simple but powerful. Predictive. And then you remember. Punnett squares. You recall the flowers, the birds, the genotypes, phenotypes, dominant and recessive traits. You nod to the pair of young dragons. You can indeed help them. Punnett squares allow you to map genetic possibilities, to predict the likelihood of a trait appearing in a child based on the genes of their parents. You explain dominant and recessive alleles, how carriers of defective genes can pass them to children, even if they never expressed them themselves. You speak of hemophilia, a human disease where only one functioning copy of a gene is needed to prevent symptoms. But two defective copies can be lethal. Selvaria absorbs your words with rapt attention, as if her very future depends upon what you say next, because it very nearly might.
And the more closely related two individuals are, the higher the chance that both carry the same defect.
You nod in response. More distant pairings result in stronger, more diverse offspring. It's mathematics, biology, truth. Aurelio's voice is tight with hope.
You mean you could show them? Prove it to them? Demonstrate it?
You nod again, smiling. You would need data, lineages, pedigrees. But yes, you could build visual evidence. The truth. Undeniable. Selvaria steps forward, hope radiant in her expression.
Please, will you come with us to the Draconian Enclave? If we can spread this truth, others may rise. We could challenge the Council, break the cycle.
You glance back at the siphon of decay, rising into the sky like a sickness. Even now you can feel its poison in your veins. But without aid, you will never reach it. You turn back to the dragons and agree to accompany them. With a cry of joy, Selvaria lowers her wings. Aurelio follows. You climb atop their backs, light-headed, still weak but suddenly filled with a new purpose. As the wind rushes past your face and the world blurs beneath you, you fly toward the mountains where dragons dwell, and the Elder Council waits in their crumbling halls of pride.
All right. So, looks like our two young dragons have a problem, and we are going to help them with it. And we are going to learn about Punnett squares in the process, and we are going to get gold and experience and whatnot on Academy of Heroes. So let me share the screen. We are actually going to go over how to complete this worksheet. So I showed you how to do it if you have an Academy of Heroes account, how to access it. If you do not, there is a direct link in the lesson introduction page that will bring you exactly to the worksheet. So let me share my whole screen here. And we will go over this together. Okay, can you all see my screen? All right, so at the very top is the video we just watched. Feel free to watch it again. Also on the lesson introduction page, there is a video going over how to do Punnett squares in like more detail. I'm going to give you like a general overview of how to do it right now. And we'll go over what Punnett squares are and what they're for and everything. But on the lesson introduction page for both Unit 6, Lesson 4, as well as right here, this is Unit 6, Lesson 4. There's a video right here that goes over Punnett squares in detail. That's a resource for you. I have the same video on the lesson introduction page for this assignment. And just so you know, this is a portfolio assignment. I know it says it's a sample work, but I dropped the portfolio from Unit 4 and I moved it to here instead. So I dropped the earlier one, but I just moved this one to Unit 6. So this is your portfolio. So no, you cannot use Steward's Writ to drop it. That only works for other stuff. You can get something to give you a few free points if you want to do that. I don't remember what the name of that item is, but that'll work. That's an expensive item, but that's up to you. Oh, yeah, if you have an Academy of Heroes account, you get gold by coming to live lesson and doing your lessons. You earn gold by doing your schoolwork and coming to live lessons in Academy of Heroes. And you can use that gold for perks. So check it out if you don't have an account. Anyways, so let's go ahead and go over the worksheet. All right, so here we are on the worksheet. What we have here is the Dragon Traits key. These are the traits we're going to be looking at, and we're going to do a cross between Selvaria and Aurelio. Now you have a lot of freedom to decide what traits they have. It's not set. As long as you're consistent in your selections and the Punnett squares work, then it's totally fine. So what I put in here might not be what you put, because there are different options. I'm giving you like freedom to choose what traits you want Silvaria and Aurelio to have. The only one that should be totally obvious is that Silvaria is silver and Aurelio is gold. All the other stuff, you can try to match their pictures, but it's not like required. It just needs to be consistent. So these are all the traits. So from your lesson, Unit 6, Lesson 4, you may have read that traits come in pairs, and the individual traits are called alleles. So two alleles together make up a gene. You get one allele from one parent and one allele from another parent. So you have two copies of each allele. This is kind of universal for like eukaryotic offspring that have two parents. This is why, you know, sometimes you take after mom, sometimes you take after dad. Everyone gets two alleles to make up a trait. Now, in our example here in the dragon traits key, we have got, hey, focus up. If I hear from all of you later and you're like, I don't know how to do this, I'm not going to be sympathetic for you. Focus up in the chat. Watch the screen. All right. In this key, neck length is dominant. Long neck is dominant, okay, which means it will be visible in the offspring. And short neck is recessive, which means it may be covered up in the offspring. It may not be expressed. Phenotype is what is visible in the offspring. Genotype is the genes they carry. Okay, if you need clarification on that, you can review Unit 6, Lesson 4. You can watch that other video. But we have all of these traits here. There are 11 traits in total in the traits key. Okay, and I'm looking off the screen because I got 3 monitors. So that's why I'm not looking. Anyways, so you're going to look at all these traits. The first thing you're going to do in this part is you're going to list 6 dominant traits. So for example, in the key, long neck, right here, dominant long neck is dominant over short neck. Red eyes is dominant over white eyes. Multiple horns is dominant over 2 horns. Okay? You need to pick 6 of the dominant traits, and you can type directly into this worksheet. You can type right into here, and you can download it and save it. So I'm trying to make this as straightforward as possible so you don't have to have any like technical details. So you type right into here, pick 6. I don't care which 6. There's 11 to choose from, pick 6. Then you're going to do the same thing for the recessive traits. You're going to pick 6 recessive traits from the key. So short neck would be one example. I'm going to pause here. Does anyone have any questions about that? That's the first part. It can be whatever 6 you want. That was pretty straightforward, right? All right, so you got the dominance and the recessive filled out. Now next for this part, there is a little explanation here about how to do the chromosome part, these little ovals right here. Now on your version, the pre-filled text may be different, but this is totally editable. So if you want, you can make it look like what I have here. You can change this up. You just need to make sure that all of the traits here in these chromosomes match what's up here in the key. So in chromosome number 1, in our example here, dragons have 4 chromosomes. I don't know how many they really have. I've never had an opportunity to actually look and study a dragon. But if anyone gets that opportunity, you let me know, okay? That would be awesome. But so on this example, on chromosome 1, we have the gene for eye color, tail, and horns. Chromosome 2, back, belly, wing claws. The traits in the ovals need to match the traits here in the key. So make sure that that's what you do first. Now I have a couple of examples here. Now you are going to select the genotype for Silvaria. This is where you have some freedom to put in what you want. I don't really care what you put in for these chromosomes as long as they make sense with the key. So I put big E, little e, for eye color, little s for tail, big H, little h for horns. So in my example that I put one dominant and one recessive for eye color. So according to the key, red eyes is dominant over white eyes. So in this example, what color will Silvaria's eyes be? Silvaria's eyes, what color will they be? You are correct. They will be red. Because red is dominant. Red eye color is dominant over white eye color. Is she carrying the gene for white eyes or no? She is, correct. But it's not being expressed, but she has it. For tail, I put little s, little s. So she only has recessive genes for tail. No spikes on tail. Spikes on tail. So what is she going to express in her phenotype on her tail? Spikes or no spikes? Correct. No spikes. Horns. Big H, little h. Let's look at the key. Big H, little h. What's she going to have? What is she going to express? She will express multiple horns. If I change this to this, little h, little ace, what would she express according to the key? She would express 2 horns. Correct. You can put whatever you want. You can make her heterozygous. Heterozygous means one of each. Or you can make her homozygous recessive, which means she has the same allele and they're recessive. Or you can make her homozygous dominant. So in this example right here, if she has 2 dominant alleles, what would she express? She would have multiple horns. Yes, Jennifer. So down here in the chromosomes, you are going to choose what you want them to be. So someone in the chat, give me an example, like for back. Let's say we're going to type in back. Right here, back. What letter would we use? What letter would we use? We would use K for back. And you could put in big K, little k. You could put in little k, little k. You could put in big K, big K. You could have whatever combination you want. But you have to make sure you understand what's going to be expressed based on what you put in the ovals. So if you put big K, little k in the oval, what would be expressed? Correct, Jennifer. Yeah. She would have a freckled back if that's what you put. So you can put whatever you want in these ovals. It just needs to be for the proper trait using the proper letters. It does not have to match the image, no. The image is like right here, it looks like she kind of has blue eyes. That's not even an option. So no, it doesn't have to match the picture. It's fine. Just put what you like. You don't have to fill all 6 ovals. These ones here are intentionally left blank. I just put those there because if I didn't put those ovals in, it like messed up the formatting of the page. So you do not have to fill in the last 2, just the first 4. Okay. Then you're going to do the same thing for Aurelio. Exactly the same thing for Aurelio. Okay. Same process. Any questions about the ovals? You can come. I'm recording this and I'm going to like post this. After it's done, I'll post it so you can refer back to this recording if you need to. All right. We good on the ovals. Now down to the Punnett squares. This is the part that everyone loves. But again, I tried to make this easy for you. So let's do an example here. I've given you some examples here. So in this example, we're going to go back. We're going to do eye color first. Actually, I lied. We'll do neck length first because that's what's first. Okay, no, we'll do eye color first. It's just right there. All right, so we're going to look at eye color. Right here for eye color on Silvaria, we put capital E, little e, because that's what we put for Silvaria. And what do we put for Aurelio? We have the same thing for Aurelio. Capital E, little e. The boxes will fill for you automatically. Now, it might put the capital letter second. That doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I mean, ideally, when you're writing this down, you want to put the capital letter first just for clarity. But if the capital letter is there at all, then the dominant trait is expressed. Okay? This is just doing it because it's putting them in a certain order. Okay? Does that make sense? You just have to put Silvaria's the Silvaria's alleles on the top, and Aurelio's on the left. Silvaria on the top, Aurelio on the left. Has to match what you put in the ovals. Like I said, I don't care what you put in the ovals. Make the traits whatever you want. Make the genotype whatever you want, as long as it makes sense. But when you do the Punnett squares, they have to match what's in the ovals. And it will autofill them for you. So let's look at this Punnett square right now. A Punnett square represents the probability. It's not a guarantee. It's a probability of what the hatchlings will look like. So based on what we have here, what will the hatchlings look like? We have dominant traits in 3 boxes, and an eye color, E, red eyes is dominant. So as a percentage, yes, 75% chance. Because even though like the little e is present in these, the big E is going to be expressed. So based on these boxes, there is a 75% chance the hatchlings are going to come out with red eyes. What's the chances they're going to come out with white eyes? 25%. Correct. Okay, you're going to do that for all of the Punnett square boxes. So tell me, what letter are you going to use for, what letter are you going to use for the tail? Let's look at the key. What letter are you going to use for the tail? S, correct. You're going to use that letter. So let's say we had this big S for Silvaria. And let's also say we use big S for Aurelio. What are the chances that the hatchlings are going to come out with spikes on their tail? It's 100%. Please don't just put capital letters for everything. That's so boring. And don't put small letters for everything. It really doesn't make it a whole lot easier to do that. You still got to figure out what they're going to look like and stuff. All right, so, and they'll autofill for you. Just keep in mind the order of capital letter and lowercase letter doesn't matter. Does everyone understand how to fill in the Punnett squares on the worksheet? All right, I think we're good. Moving on to what the hatchling has. Yes, Jennifer, question. All right. Why does it say the chromosomes is a gene? Okay, so like I said, the pre-filled text might be a little off just because I made a change to the traits key, but I forgot to change this in the worksheet. So that when the worksheet opens up, it might be a little off. So if that is the case, just make sure that these things right here match what's up here. You can change them. You can type, you can delete and type it. Just make sure they match. So yeah, that's just because I made a couple of changes when I published this and the pre-filled stuff is a little off, but you can change it. So just make sure that when you type, you can type this in and you just make it match the traits key. That's a good question. All right, going down to the hatchling. Now, again, you have some freedom on here, but you can go off your Punnett squares. So right here, we have a 75% chance that the trait 7 is tail, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Trait 7 is what the tail looks like. Spikes or no spikes. Yeah. Again, so down here in the hatchling thing, you have some freedom. So what did we put for the chromosome? What's on chromosome 1? We've got eye color, tail, and horns. Make sure that's what you type in here. You have to type this yourself. Chromosome 1 has eye color, tail, and horns. So you type that in there. You can totally roll a dice. That's how nature does it. So type your traits into the trait column here, and then you're going to pick one of your options from your Punnett square to give this particular hatchling. Now, since there was a 75% chance that it was going to come out with red eyes, statistically speaking, what do you think you should choose that one? Just as a form of probability. You could, but it's more likely to have this, big E, or that. You can put this. You know, it's a random toss. So it's possible. But it has to match one of the options that came up in your Punnett square. So we'll put big E, little e for this one. And pay no attention to the pre-filled stuff right here. Pay no attention to that. So we got big E for eye color. What color eyes will this hatchling have based on the trait key? They will have red eyes. You type that into the box. Is this heterozygous or homozygous? Is this genotype combination heterozygous or homozygous? Correct. It's het. And again, pay no attention to the pre-filled stuff here in the box. Okay, let's do tail. So based on this, what does the hatchling have to be? Has to be spiked. Based on this Punnett square, it's 100%. There's no chance of anything else. So it has to be big S, which is spikes on tail. And is that genotype combination heterozygous or homozygous? It is. It is homozygous. So you can write the whole thing if you want, but you don't have to. You're going to do that for every chromosome. So someone tell me, what traits are going to be on chromosome 2? Looking at the ovals. What traits will be on chromosome 2? Belly, yep. What else? Back, wing claws, yes. Those are the traits on chromosome 2. So you're going to fill that in right here for chromosome 2. Then you're going to do 3 and 4. Now here's the fun part. Here's the fun part. After you have all of that filled in, you're going to fill this out with the hatchling's final traits. So based on whatever you put in here, okay, you're going to put that in this box. This is basically just a copy paste thing. So just for the fun part. You've already got it up here in your chromosomes. You already put it on here. You're just going to put that same thing right here. Put its genotype. And then you are going to express which trait is expressed based on this genotype. So for this example right here, is this correct? Is that correct when I select white eyes for that genotype? No, it is not. Yes, you have to do all 4 for full credit. If you skip stuff, you're going to lose points. You got to fill in the whole thing. Might take a little while, but it's basically the same thing over and over again. It's like practice. So once you fill in all of those genotypes, and they have to be filled in, you have to fill them in, and you make sure you select the proper trait that is expressed. Okay, you're going to fill in all those. Make sure they're right. Then you get to generate your portrait. You're going to generate it. Click the generate button, and it will make you a picture of your hatchling. Now, if you think I'm lying, I'll prove to you that it actually works. We're going to switch it to a silver body. We're going to generate it again. And it will create your hatchling based on what you put for those buttons. So let's check. Red eyes. Yep, red eyes. Short neck. I guess that's a short neck. Colored wings. Yes, it has 2 different colored wings. 3 toes. Armor on the belly. Spikes on the tail. Horns. It will match what you put for the radio buttons. Yes, with AI. If you want to know, Cullen, it's using Gemini Flash 2.5. That was fun to set up. Yeah, I programmed it to use your choices. Now, please don't create a million portraits. If you want to do 2 or 3, that's fine. Just because it really kind of gunks up the system if you make too many. If you want to do 2 or 3, that's okay. I mean, you can do it a couple of times, but it's pretty much going to be the same. There might be like a couple little changes, but it's going to generally look the same. Yeah, but this is just for fun. Now, if you want to save this and, use it for something, you can right click on it and save it as something. Save it, download it to computer, that's fine. Then you're going to answer these final questions. So we kind of already answered these a little bit, but based on your Punnett square for eye color, what are the chances the hatchling's eyes will be red? We kind of already did that. There's a 75% chance that they will be red based on this Punnett square. So you're just going to put that into the box. You're going to put 75%. Okay, and a lot of these are very similar to that. This last one here, you have to figure these out on your own. If body color expressed codominance, what would the hatchling's body color be based on your Punnett squares? You have to know what codominance and incomplete dominance means. And that is in your lesson. It's on Unit 6, Lesson 4. So you have to look that up. And if you need to Google what those 2 things are, that's fine. You can do that. I ain't against that. But you just have to explain what the hatchling would look like if codominance or incomplete dominance were expressed. Once you have that done, and this is all filled out and good to go, you're going to click download as a PDF, and it will open your print dialog. You do not have to print it actually. You are going to go here, and you are going to save it as a PDF. Save it as a PDF. There you go, Jennifer. That's why. You're going to save it as a PDF. When you save it, it will automatically call it Academy of Heroes. That's fine, but please put your name on it too. That just kind of helps me keep it straight. Please put save it as your name, Dragon Genetics or something like that. Give it a file name with your name in it. I don't really care what the file name is as long as it's got your name. Okay, once you save it, it will download it to your downloads folder. All right. Now, if you don't have an Academy of Heroes account, you're just going to upload that file to the Dropbox at the end of the lesson, just like a regular portfolio or sample work. Just find that file and upload it to the Dropbox in Pearson. That's all you got to do. If you do have an Academy of Heroes account and you want to get the golden experience for this, hold on. Let me see if I can go back. Get back to the old, oh, it logged me out. Hang on. Hold on. Stand by. I'm going to show you what to do to get it uploaded to Academy of Heroes. So if you don't have an account here, just upload it as normal. If you do have one, you still upload it to Pearson. Upload it to Pearson, that file. Still upload it to Pearson just like normal. But you're also going to upload it here. You're going to go to Special Missions, View Mission, And like I said, sometimes it looks like it automatically opened the tab for me. If that happens, just go back to the other tab. You're going to go down, and you can't interact with it here just because of how it's set up. So don't worry about all this. You don't have to type nothing here. You're going to upload the file right here. Choose file, click that. Okay. And select the file and upload it right here. Also, 2 places. And then mark as complete. Just click upload it and then click mark as complete. Now, I think a couple people have already done this, and I will show you what I see when you do that. Thanks. I like my shirt too. I'm going to log in back as myself here as the guild leader. Show you what I see when you turn this in. Okay, so here, these are coming up. I don't have these posted yet, but I will. And you'll be able to do them there too. When we get closer, I'm going to post those too. But I'm going to click submissions, and I can see that Ryden, Emma, and Sophia have submitted their files for my review. And when I get to those, when I review it, I will send them back a grade and how much gold they get. So James, you have to change it from tail length to what matches the trait key. You have to type it in there. Okay. So if you have an account on Academy of Heroes, upload it here on Academy of Heroes. Also upload it to Pearson. Same file. This just gives me the ability to give you experience and gold for it. Okay. That being said, I'm going to stop sharing. I am going to give you a little exit survey. Go back to Zoom, like make sure you're on the gallery tab in Zoom. I stopped sharing my screen. I'm going to give you a quick survey. I want everyone to tell me honestly how they feel about Punnett squares. So there's a survey here in Zoom. It's just 5 questions. Just answer that honestly for me. And make sure you're on the little Punnett Square survey tab. I want everyone to tell me how they're feeling about Punnett squares. It's fine if you hate them. I just want to make sure you understand them. So everyone fill out that survey for me. If you fill out this survey for me, I will give you experience and gold for completing the survey in Academy of Heroes. Normally, you get golden experience for doing a boss battle. We did not do the boss battle. We did not do a boss battle today. So your reward for attending today will come from completing this exit survey. So I know that you were here. And I will give everyone a few minutes to change that. Faye, if that happens, it probably won't be till next semester because I'll have to make it over winter break. So to find the survey, it should be in Zoom on the tab that says Punnett Square Survey. And you should be able to just answer. It's just questions. Just tell me how you feel about Punnett squares honestly. Because if you don't understand it, I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna send you some stuff, or maybe we can talk a little bit more. Or I'll have another live lesson later about this before the end of the semester. It's kind of like a review thing. Will your dragons be pets? No, they will not be pets. I'm sorry. Don't have the ability to let you upload custom pets. I might be able to figure out how to do that at some point, but it's not going to be anytime soon. All right, the chat is open. So I guess my question is, do you feel like you can complete this worksheet and pass it? Once this is over, Cullen, I'll send the link out in a webmail to the recording. All right, I see that lots of people are entering stuff. Thank you for that. Kind of a mix. You understand a lot of stuff. Questions on other stuff. All right. Remember, if you don't fill it out, you don't get no golden experience. You still get marked as attended today for attending the live lesson. You'll get that. But you only get golden experience if you fill out the survey. So I'll keep that open for a little bit longer. It's fine. Take your time. I mean, I'm not going to close it out real quick. I'll leave it open like all the way until the end. Okay, so again, I appreciate everyone telling me. I need to know if you don't understand the stuff. Again, when you're doing it, go to Unit 6, Lesson 4. That's where Punnett squares are described. You can review that lesson again. Watch the video that I posted on the lesson introduction page. It goes over how Punnett squares work. It uses rabbits, not dragons, but it's the same thing. It's the same process. Okay. In the top left of the screen on Zoom, you will see the Punnett Square Survey tab. Click on that. And it should bring it up for you. Jakari, if you use the steward's writ, yes, I will deny that and I will send it back to you. Now, again, about the items. There is the, I don't know what it's called, but there's something that gives you like 5 points on a portfolio or test. You can use that. If you get this back and you're not happy with your grade on this portfolio and you want to purchase and use that item with your earned gold, you can. You just can't do it. There's nothing that can drop it. We can't drop portfolios and tests. But I can give you a few extra points on it, assuming that you try. Doesn't say it's a link for you. Yeah, it's not a link. It's just a tab in Zoom. Are you on a phone or a tablet, or are you on a laptop? Yeah, like up at the top. Let me try this. If you couldn't see it before, can you see it now? There's a new little thingy there that says, oh, okay, cool. There's a little lock thing that actually forces that tab to the front. That's cool. The golden XP for the portfolio is pretty significant, but it is based on how well you do. So I don't remember what I set for the max, but it was pretty significant. It was like 300. It was equivalent of what you would normally get for a boss battle. So the survey is just a tab. It should be right here in Zoom. You just click on the little tab. Oh, thanks. All right. If you absolutely cannot get to the survey, I mean, it's okay. It's not the end of the world, but you should be able to just get it from the tabs at the top of the Zoom window. It should be right next to the little part that says class in the upper left. Like you should see where it says class in the upper left, and just to the right of that, it should say Punnett Square Survey. No, you do not need to send the survey. There's no link, Halo. It's just right here in Zoom, so there's actually no link to do it. It's okay if you can't get to it. No, not a big deal. You do not have to send the survey. Just send your worksheet assignment. All right. I think that about covers it. Does anyone have any final questions about the worksheet, Academy of Heroes, whatever? All right. If you got no questions, we are out. I will leave the survey open for a couple more minutes. And you can head on out. Halo, I will post this recording and send it out to everyone. So you can review it if you need to. All right. You're free to bounce on out of here if you have no questions, but I'll keep it open for a couple more minutes to let everyone finish up the survey. See y'all later.